What is living?
Now recording.
Complicated?
What is it?
Oh. This is, well, I know that it looks like a tiny metal sphere right now, but it's actually a pair of lungs. Or rather, it's going to be a pair of lungs after I swallow it.
I know
So
what
many
you're
questions.
talking about, but that description.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
To be clear, it's going to make my normal lungs disappear and a different magic pair of lungs reappear after I swallow it. It's not going to turn into it's not going to turn into lungs in my stomach. That would be bad and unhelpful and a really inefficient way to eat organ meat.
Oh my goodness.
There are so many replies to that. And I cannot decide which to use. So I'm going to table that and say hello and welcome to Pack Tactics Season 3. This is a homebrew 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign in a persistent world in which there are other campaigns that are also running amok. None of them resulted in the moon going away for a couple months. So, this might be the best one. This is an all-kobold campaign, which makes it a bit more chaotic. That's right, kobolds are lawful evil in general, but somehow still chaotic. And my name is Crash. I will be your DM for the evening. And tonight we are joined by a bunch of incredibly awesome people. Our players, Ellie, Io, Jen, Cindy, Matt will be joining us in a little bit. We have LFA and Archbeth hanging out in chat. And that introduction had me thinking of a source book that I'm holding in my hand right now called Arcana of the Ancients, because it is literally full of technology written for 5e that acts exactly the way that Io was describing it.
Ooh.
And I'm using this particular source book for the 8:30 Saturday game. You have one thing from the book already, the cipher. But
I figured.
yes. So this is the point of the game where I mute myself right after asking what happened last week.
We fought two...
I
Go
might
ahead.
have thrown a tantrum.
This is Chroma. It happens. It's okay. We fought two big, ugly things that started out looking like kobolds, but we figured out they weren't kobolds when I couldn't pick one up. And we made a gnome really mad. What else was it?
And we brought the planar foci back to the moon and reactivated the half-sphere machine.
And then we fought the things that weren't kobolds.
And the way they talked kind of implied they'd been pretending to be kobolds for a while. There may
could
be more of them.
Right, there could be more. I'm going to have to pick up every kobold and see. Nope.
It amuses me that is Zax's litmus
Solution?
test for
Yeah,
are
I
you
mean,
a
if I can
kobold?
pick you up, you're a kobold. Yeah.
That is straight out of Monty Python and Holy Grail. If it weighs as much as a duck, then it's a kobold, and therefore they are not a witch.
Right.
Right, witch isn't even a class in 5e. That's a Pathfinder class. So if they're a witch, they're using the wrong rulebook.
Do you have inspiration?
No.
That's a lie now. We haven't even started this session, and it's already making me laugh. I enjoy this so much. Thank you for choosing to spend your Monday evenings with me, or Monday afternoons for those of you in different time zones. I truly appreciate all of this. So, it has been a few days since you turned on the half-sphere lock mechanism. And other than that initial snafu at the very beginning, where a couple kobolds revealed that they were rather not, and they'd rather you not, and you'd rather they not stop you, everything has pretty much gone kinda sorta smoothly, in that there have been no attempts to take over the moon, steal the moon, eat all the kobolds, or
Turn anybody into a slad.
turn anyone into a slad, or other kind of nopes. Like, general transmutation of kobolds has not occurred to your knowledge.
Except my lungs. But I did that to myself.
You cannot get double inspiration, especially not for the same thing twice. You cannot... temptation is there. It's still funny to me. Dagnabbit, it's still funny to me. So
Is double inspiration anything like the double rainbow?
no, it's actually an unsigned integer. So if you get too much inspiration, it goes to rolling at disadvantage. That is also not true. I don't have anything to keep track of that. So what have you been doing for the past few days?
Picking up kobolds to see if they're really a kobold. That's what I'll be doing.
Okay, so Zax has literally been going around picking up every kobold that they encounter.
Yep.
I am going to hazard a guess, and you're allowed to say no, that didn't happen. But I will hazard a guess that some kobolds have been picked up more than once.
Oh, probably. There's no way they're going to keep track of all of them.
That and, maybe they were
not writing a
transmuted since
list.
the last time you picked them up.
Could be, yeah. So, just pick them up. If I could pick them up, I know they're a kobold, and I don't have to fight that one.
Now, Zax, I do appreciate that you have managed to get the crick out of my back. That's wonderful. It's great therapy for my spine. My chiropractor thanks you as well. But this is the third time today that you have just come into my office and picked me up. Is there something I should know?
I'm just making sure everyone's a kobold.
Ah, I am.
Yes, I can pick you up. Therefore, you're a kobold. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
I didn't know that was one of the criteria, but okay. 2 hours later, Zax returns.
Hey, Zax! How are you going to pick up... How are you going to check the swobolds?
Not sure. I probably can pick up a few of them.
Most swobolds can lift things that weigh more than them, so it's just a matter of Zax and the swobolds test each other.
Yeah.
The
And then we
really
can all
weird
try
thing-
to pick up. We can go all try to pick up Gox, but he's a dragon. It might not work.
Gox has wings, so
Yeah.
when he
Does
chooses to have them.
Gox weigh a dragon amount of weight when Gox is a kobold?
I don't know.
The jury
You should
is
try
out.
to pick him up and find out.
The jury is out on that. When a dragon and a few other beings shapeshift, they maintain the stats as listed. Like a dragon turned into a cat still has dragon stats. Monty still has all of Monty's stats when he is in kobold form, which means his strength is insane.
Yeah.
Because if he does weigh a dragon amount, dragon clothes would be a lot bigger. There are things that could be done with that relating to, gravity and, alright, so if you have something that weighs a lot spread over a long distance, that is different than if you have something that weighs a lot in a, spread over a kobold-sized amount of distance, and, this goes on for several minutes.
And meanwhile, Zax is walking away and picking up more kobolds just to be practical.
I have an outline of what I would like to have happen during tonight's game, but I am willing to close that document. If it's just 2 hours of this, I'm okay with it. Don't even have to go for a break. I'll just walk away as you're talking and come back later after I do my own stretch break. Oh, I love this game so much. That is the free space on the bingo card, and it always will be. So Zax is going around picking up every kobold that they see, occasionally, frequently, more than once. It's really weird when one of the swobolds and Zax pick each other up at the same time, and somehow they have an impromptu levitation.
Sorry.
Well, it works.
I was testing out my version of the fly spell.
Well, that
The
explains
yes
it.
and is strong with this one.
Yeah, that explains things, yeah.
I love this so much.
I do actually have that prepared.
I honestly might be having more fun tonight than the rest of you. There's a chance. Chroma has apparently been making artificial lungs.
Uh-huh. I'm vacuum rated now.
Keep those things away from me.
So I shouldn't give you a hug?
Your lungs are creeping me out. And you don't want to know what I do in my mushroom garden. Or rather, where I get the food from my mushroom garden.
Why would that disturb me? Are you feeding it nopes? Are you using the corpses of nopes to grow mushrooms? Because I don't think I want to eat nope mushrooms. What if they get all nopey?
Well, I haven't had a chance to with the nopes.
Oh,
The
okay,
mind
that's
flare
fine then.
mushroom didn't go so well.
Yeah, those might be psychedelic. Or psionic.
And while they're having this conversation, I'm going to pick up each one just to check and then move on to Mary. Okay, all
I'm
good.
still wearing half plate.
That's fine.
While we're having this conversation, Cindy, what is Zenosha doing for the past few days?
Zenosha is tending to her garden and the moss in the spaceship. She's been neglecting them for the few days. She was kind of busy exploring caves and the like, so
Okay,
it needs some TLC.
that's valid. Give me a die roll, a d20 die roll.
13?
Wonderful, thank you. You find a thing.
What sort of thing?
Well, because you rolled a 13, I'm going to have to look it up. But you do find it in your mushroom garden. It was kind of half buried in the soil. It almost looked like it got pushed out of the soil a little bit from one of the mushrooms, as they tend to grow.
Has someone been messing with my fertilizer?
You don't know. There's no sign that someone was in here and burying things. Matter of fact, you have managed to, after some previous incidents, successfully deter most kobolds from wanting to go anywhere near the mushrooms. You don't scare them off in a way that Chroma's inventions scare people off. Or that Zax gets people to fall in line. But you have your own methods of intimidation. What you find, it actually looks like a small pill. Like you've seen apothecaries have things like this, not this specifically, and give them as medication so someone would swallow it with a little drink of water or something. Usually not alcohol because that goes bad with it, but that's another story altogether. You don't know why they stress that so much. It is kind of like a pale blue color, and it smells nice. Not like mushrooms, but still nice.
I'm gonna pick it up, try to find Chroma, and go, do you know what this is?
It looks like a pill. It's not mine. I didn't make it. I don't do alchemy. I'm not that kind of artificer.
Yeah, pills don't usually also
I could
spontaneously
do-
generate in a garden.
All right. So, who's leaving pills in your garden?
I don't know. You were my first guess, and that's not going anywhere.
I mean, I could do alchemy if I worked at it, but it's not really my specialty, is what I mean. Can I take a look at that?
Sure, here you go.
Great. I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay. Identify reveals that whatever it is, it's not magical.
Okay, it's not a magic pill, so I'm guessing not really alchemical. It's probably not someone's idea of a potion of healing in convenient pill form. But I don't know what it is.
How'd it get into my garden?
How should I know?
If the
Fair.
DM might make a suggestion, because this is something that would occur to Chroma. Being an
I could-
artificer,
Analyze it?
sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, but that does not mean things of technological or alchemical nature are by default magical.
It could be non-magical alchemy or herbalism, or I can try to figure it out. I'm not sure the pill would necessarily survive the experience of me figuring it out, but I can try to figure it out. Though, if it is plant-based, you'd probably have a better shot at figuring it out than me.
Plants don't make things that look like this. This is...
Well, they do if you refine them, right?
If you find a myconid who is skilled in alchemy, they can. Well, technically, myconids aren't plants. They're fungi. Different genus, but never mind.
Well,
But anyway,
examine the pill. It's, better to know what that thing is than just our other option of have someone taste it and find out.
I am totally prepared for any of you to swallow this to see what happens.
I am not going to do that until I have run tests.
Anyone who missed the game from the 8:30 game from this past Saturday, You missed that exact instance, by the way. I gave a different pill to Millie's Tabaxi character.
Oh my gosh.
They immediately ate it as soon as they realized it wasn't a disease carrier.
Anyway, I would like to run some tests on this pill.
This is going to be
Please
tough.
do.
I'm going to make you roll an investigation check.
Oh, good. Investigation, not nature. I am proficient in investigation.
Oh,
I am
no,
not
I assure you,
proficient
this
in
thing is not
nature.
natural.
That's an 11. I want to use my inspiration.
Okay. It's why I give it. And now I can give it
Yes.
again.
That's 14. I would like to use of my flash of genius to turn that into an 18. That was a 6 on the die, by the way.
6 on the die, you end up with an 18. I am here for this content with level 10 characters. Okay, so with an 18, it takes you a while. Zenosha gets bored during the process. What Zenosha does is up to Zenosha, but this doesn't involve mushrooms, so I imagine it does get pretty boring pretty fast.
I have to make sure the moss is nice and hydrated.
But during Chroma's investigations and testing small samples that are broken off, you find that it is not natural, it is not plant-based, it is not animal, vegetable, or mineral. Fun fact. But it is a thing. It is calming. Everything about it is calming. The color is meant to be soothing. The fragrance is meant to be soothing. And your best guess upon examining this is that if somebody swallowed this, they would become an epicenter of calm, where not only would they become totally zen, people around them for like 60 feet away perhaps would also be really chill.
I have found the mother of all anxiety meds.
Oh.
And the more I learn about it, the more I'm concerned that it showed up in my garden out of nowhere. I'm going to
I
ask Zaxxas if
tell
he's
you-
seen anyone mess with my garden. If
Mhm.
she...
They.
They?
Zax is
sorry.
they. Yeah, that's okay.
It is a recent development, so we are
Zax,
adjusting.
have you seen anyone go into my garden?
I haven't been near your garden in a while. I've been busy picking up kobolds.
It's true, they have.
So, quick question, because I'm going to add this item to a character sheet. Who's going to keep the pill?
Well, I currently have it, but maybe I should go find my brother and give it to him. Because, the
Anxiety.
whole... Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's actually not a bad idea.
So maybe I should keep it and see if I can figure out how to replicate it, because it would be kind of rude to just give him one and then he'd be out of anxiety meds and...
Oh, wow. Yeah, that could be bad.
And you don't know how long it takes to renew someone's prescription on the moon.
Yeah.
What even is your zip code to get them ordered by mail?
00000?
No, that's the center of the Earth.
Oh, 99999?
That is the broken spire on the other side of the planet.
Oh.
It's a bunch of non-Euclidean numbers. I have added it to your character sheet for the time being. So if you refresh your character sheet, you will see additional information about it. And we can trade that between whoever in the future as we want to do. So, Ellie, what has Neri been up to?
In the absence of anything else to do, Neri will probably have gone to find one of the stolen forests on the moon so she can walk around it and make sure that everything's growing properly.
Okay. When you walk around, give me a survival check.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So you encounter absolutely nothing hostile. There seems to be a smattering of small wildlife about. For the most part, birds. There's a few insects. There seem to be no land-based animals in the area other than you when you walk around. You occasionally find signs of other creatures, but they are all old enough that only kobolds have walked this way for weeks.
Okay.
It feels incredibly empty. Although, to be fair, you're on the moon.
Yes. I imagine it feels somewhat less empty than the moon normally would.
Well, yeah, the trees do add a bit of atmosphere, literally. It's not just enough to do a thing. You have to see what I did there. And then I have to point out that everyone has seen what I did there. And they saw that I said that they saw what I did there. And I know it's not funny.
It's funny because it's kind of like the opposite of Chroma's really hyper expressions at the beginning of this. It's like...
I enjoy contrast.
Yeah.
But not contrast dye.
Oof.
That's a different thing. Kelly was allergic.
Oh.
Yeah. Used in medical tests. Yeah, apparently, if you're allergic and you have a test that requires it, they'll still give it to you, but you have to start taking insane doses of Benadryl the day before.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay. So back to Chroma. Is there anything else you do after you create your lungs? Things I never thought I'd
out
say.
of context.
Oh, I have.
Well,
EO was gracious enough to type that wonderful spiel in chat, so I have already posted that on social media as an out of context quote. I was able to cut and paste it.
I have been working on something for JR.
Ooh.
Because I'm a level 10 artificer now, and that means I can make magical items of common or uncommon rarity, and at half the cost and in a quarter of the time. And so JR needs some magic equipment if they're gonna be
Not avoiding conflict like you tell them to?
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of level 3, and they're kind of trying to be the tank for a level 10 party, and that's kind of not working great. But also, I can't make magic armor in a quarter of the time because it's a rare rarity. So, but I can make something that would let them wear non-magical plate mail, which they don't usually meet the strength requirement for, but basically what I'm saying is that I've been working on some gauntlets of ogre power.
Nice.
Okay. Did you spend any time looking at the Stone Defender?
Oh, yes, but, right, yes, because you can only spend, 8 hours a day usefully crafting magic items.
And it's something to tinker with, and
it's a thing to tinker with, and it would make JR happy if I could get it back online.
Definitely. And we've discussed this outside of the recording, I think. Basically, Chroma has figured out that they can totally repair this. She can totally repair the Stone Defender, but it's going to take a considerable amount of time. This is more involved than making a blue quality magical item. There was some level of intelligence in this thing, but there's also some level of intelligence in both of Chroma's turrets. This is not untrodden ground. Even if the personality types of the turrets seems to be a bit swapped, and it hasn't been swapped back yet.
I'm used to that now.
Yeah.
It would be weird if I put them in the ones that they were technically originally supposed to go in.
You meant to do that, is what you're saying.
I mean, I didn't mean to do that, but it would be weird if I undid it.
Well, in your tinkering with the Stone Defender, you find a part.
Ooh.
And
oh no, it's not from JR, is it?
No, it's not from JR.
Oh, good.
JR currently has all of JR's parts, and by the way, I'm going to argue that the one gear in JR's shoulder has been repaired by now.
Oh, excellent.
That wasn't a very long job, you just didn't have the gear. But there's enough kobold artificers and blacksmiths on the moon that you found someone who could make it for you. You encounter what looks kind of like a metal egg.
Ooh.
It is not an alloy you've seen before.
Ooh.
And the way it was hooked up inside the Stone Defender, your best guess is it's a power source.
Oh, I have got to analyze this.
And so you did. It's been several days, so I'm not requiring a roll for this.
Okay.
You're not entirely 100% sure how it was made. Like, you can't duplicate this at this point. But you're fairly certain that the metal alloy that this thing is constructed out of, or at least the shell, it might be different components inside. You haven't been able to crack the egg. And I appreciate that I get to say that. But it absorbs magic.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
if you're not going to, like, drain a magical item by setting it next to something, but...
That's good because if I was going to, then having it near me would be very inconvenient.
But it is possible that casting spells near it would charge it. It might even be possible to charge it with a bout of lightning. Not that you know anyone who can create lightning. I don't think that's... I probably should have brought this up earlier before you all level up your characters. I don't think any of you has any kind of item that generates lightning. That's going to be a bit of a problem. So we'll table that on the we'll work on this later thing. But with that said, after you have made this realization, like you've just made this realization, when you get a sending asking you to report to Sniv's office, each of you gets the sending.
Is the sending from Sniv?
No. The sendings that each of you get are from one of Sniv's assistants.
Ah, okay.
That's a lot of
Alright.
spell slots. Sniv can't be bothered to blow all of them.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to systematically pick up each of the assistants to make sure they're still kobolds and not one of those things we fought. Just in case. I don't want to fight 5 of them, you know?
You better have inspiration.
I do.
Okay. While you're going around picking up all the assistants, there is another kobold there that is wearing a mask. You have not seen this kobold before.
Oh, hello. You're new. Or, I mean, I guess you might not be new and you might just not usually wear the mask, but cool mask.
Why, thank you. The mask, by the way, it's half black and half white. One half has a frown, one half has a smile.
Are you from the theater department?
Are you a bard, too? I mean,
I'm gonna
because
go-
Sniv
I'm
is
not a bard.
none of
I'm a
us are.
cleric.
Cleric. Okay.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I
Cool.
thought the mask looked, bardish. So I thought I should ask.
And I'm going to go pick up this one and put him back down. It's okay. You're good.
You
Never
are
mind.
able,
What
in
god are
fact,
you
to
a
pick them up.
cleric of?
Okay, good. That one's safe. I haven't picked up snacks yet. I'm going to go over and pick up snacks. Okay, good. You're a kobold. We're set. Cool. Put him back down.
Ah!
Hi, Matt.
I didn't hug you that hard. Come on.
Yeah, they weren't even raging when they hugged. Last week there was a rage when there was a
Yep.
hug.
There was.
That was a bit different. But Matt, as you are coming and getting settled, this is apparently Snacks's new litmus test for are you in fact a nope in disguise? Because the last nope that was encountered could not be picked up.
Right. So
So
if I can pick you up, then you're a kobold. So, you know.
that is apparently how it works.
Okay.
It's at least how Zax thinks it should work.
Yes. So the kobold with the mask looks over at Sniv and says, well, this is exactly what you said would happen. You are very good at predicting things. Yes, I know. But to answer your question, I am a cleric of Memnor.
I would like to roll a religion check.
Go right ahead.
What is with the dice right now? 11.
That's another 11. That's your second 11 of the evening. Well, you've never heard of Memnor before.
Snacks will try to roll religion. It doesn't ring any bells with the
I
player.
am going to operate under the assumption that a cleric of Memnor is a new and exciting and interesting person to have around and smile broadly.
Well, it will depend on the situation. So, Snacks, with your 25, here's the deal. You have not spent a significant amount of your life around the chaos that is kobold kind.
No, I have not.
You spent your time with Ari, who thinks and knows things. Thank you. I'm here all week. So that is how I'm adding the flavor of that
Okay.
25.
Okay.
That's the source of your knowledge, the fact that it was in a book somewhere. Memnor is a deity of giants.
Oh, him.
Now,
Player just remembered who that was.
many giants are kind of not incredibly religious. It's kind of important for them to establish which rung they are on in the pecking order. I'm mixing metaphors here, but I don't care.
But I understand.
Yes, in their ordering, and that is more important than providing lip service to one deity or another. But Memnor is one of the pantheon deities. And I'm saying this also for the recording and for those who have no idea who Memnor is, even though one player in particular does remember. And Memnor in particular, and you're getting this information because you rolled a frickin' 25.
Doesn't happen a lot.
Well, it happens more when you have level 10 adventurers.
You do.
Yes. I mean, there were rolls of 30-something a few weeks ago. Is known for being a bit more of a trickster deity.
Okay. And this kobold worships that trickster deity.
Yes.
Memnor. Ah, okay.
Yes.
I think I read about him once or twice.
Oh, fascinating. Hopefully good things.
I would say it's more of a abstract. No, that's not right. Dispassionate reading, more or less, I guess.
So yes, that interpretation exists as well.
Kobolds, well, we kobolds also tend towards tricky, how shall we say, solutions to problems.
Which is why I'm picking up everyone to make sure they're a kobold.
That is a potential reading of that course of action.
Yes. May I introduce you? Perhaps a bit late for introductions, all things considered. Zach, you can stop picking up our guest. That's the third time.
Just wanted to make sure, you know.
Yes, you've done that. Let's move on.
Okay.
This is Ingen Svarte, the leader of, and I'm looking for my notes for what I called the clan, the Underfoot Clan.
Ooh. Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Chroma.
The feeling is mutual. Yes, Ingen here is, well, he and his clan are recent guests. Let's put it that way. Not yet members of the Circle of Tales, but considering joining.
All right, that's cool.
And I thought it would be nice if you showed him around.
Absolutely.
Right. So, if you could show him around, that'd be good.
Sure.
Are we talking about a walking tour, or does he want to go in a ride in the spaceship?
You are experienced kobolds and have acted as ambassadors for the Council of Tales on more than one occasion. I leave it to your judgment.
What sort of things do you want to see? I mean, I know pretty well what random daily operations look like, but also, I don't know exactly where your interests lie, except in, clericy things. I guess we could go, ask if the library is, accepting a visitor again. Last
time was kind of a problem. Yeah, it was actually kind of funny, but Marwise was mad.
Well, let's put it this way. This might be old news to you, but this is my first time on the moon. I'm happy to see anything of interest.
Oh, cool.
Come on, I'll show you all around.
Oh, wonderful.
I could just see Chroma like taking him by the hand and trying to pull him along, and
yes,
just
this is exactly
and
what's
he gets half drug off of his feet.
Right.
Enthusiasm.
And she's just a nonstop stream of, and this is this, and this is that, and it does this, and it's just, you know.
And here's the door. You get close to it, and it goes whoosh, and then you go away from it, and it goes whoosh. We used to think there was someone in the wall, but it actually senses when you're approaching.
It's a fascinating mechanism.
I didn't know the technology for that could exist. I mean, teleporters, those are easy,
really
but this? So, on your way out the door, Neri, Sniv says, "Oh, Neri, one second. I need to have a word with you about some paperwork about your most recent flight plan for the Red Star. We need to dot a few I's. So if you could come over here real quick."
Of course.
Okay. So, on one hand, we see one Chroma and company escorting Ingen Svarte. It's Ingen, Ingen.
Like ingenious or something.
Yes.
Not like engine.
Not like engine, or a very poorly pronounced possible slur. So I'm regretting giving this person that first name at that point because it can be pronounced that way, and I don't want it to be. It has a specific meaning, but never mind about that. And that person is trying very hard to not be exasperated by the enthusiasm that Chroma is providing. Not that the enthusiasm is exasperating as a tour guide, but you're not really stopping to look at anything so much as it is a whirlwind tour. Neri, you come over to the desk, and Sniv lowers his voice a little bit and says, "What do you know about cloud giants?"
What do I know about cloud giants?
I'm sorry?
What do I know about cloud giants?
That would be... You give me a history check for that. Well, or survival. You can have either or, because you're a ranger.
Well, survival's a 23.
You know that there's a wide variety of giants that exist. Cloud giants are one of the ones that rank a bit higher. They are a bit more intelligent. And they like to live in high locations, like mountaintops, and occasionally solid clouds. They do not rank quite as high as storm giants. Storm giants are a bit more powerful, and cloud giants aren't really fans of that.
Okay. I know that they're smarter than the average giant, and they have a rivalry with the storm giants.
Yes, giants tend to have rivalries with other giants, and occasionally they pick up servants. Mr. Svarte is one of them, or used to be, for generations. Matter of fact, they didn't know anything about kobold culture at all, until quite recently.
I see.
Hence the mask, and the deity,
Indeed.
and the ability, apparently, to pilot a flying cloud.
Well, that's something I haven't seen before.
Yes, none of us had, apparently. But Ingen Svarte has one, and used it to get here, with the rest of his clan. I would very much like it. I would prefer it if these Underfoot kobolds joined the circle. I think it would be a boon for the Circle of Tales to have them, as small a clan as it is, amongst our number. Would you agree?
In general, I think I do.
Failing that, and it's totally understandable if they decline, other clans have, I would very much love it if there was some way to reverse engineer how they managed to make a cloud solid enough to have a military-capable tower on top of it as it has.
I think I can do some investigating.
I trust you in this. You have a knack for keeping secrets, and noticing things, and not spilling everything that is meant to be a secret within 5 seconds of being told. I knew I could
I
count on
understand.
you.
I'll see what I can dig up.
Thank you very much.
I'm
Now,
glad we got that flight plan squared away.
oh, no, actually, you do need to sign this paper here.
Okay.
Give me a perception check.
All right. 11.
Okay, yep, you sign the paper and hand it over. That's the third 11 tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
That's weird.
My passive perception is 19, but
But you're going up against a high-level bard.
yes.
I'm not letting you use your passive perception against a high-level bard. Okay, so you are able to catch up to Chroma and the rest. Chroma, since you have become the de facto tour guide leader, where are you and the rest of the party when Neri catches up? Already in
I
progress.
feel like I'm in one of the public areas explaining the neat technology in the moon base's construction. I am, in fact, not rambling about the moon being a space station.
I imagine in a previous edition of Dungeons and Dragons that would have required a will check.
Chroma has learned a few lessons.
And has managed to remember them. Some of the time.
Some of the time. But no, I really am doing my best to try to sell him.
It's a him.
Okay, sell him on how neat this whole place is. Very sincerely.
I have to say, this is very remarkable. And the levels keep going down, you say?
Oh, yes. It's actually it's kobold construction. It was built by an ancient kobold empire, probably. But that's why it's sized for us. See, it's historically fascinating, and I'm not really the historian, but I know a bit about it, and I mean, not about the ancient Kobold Empire. That's not really our clan's history, but it's a fascinating insight into the past of our species.
Do you have any books on the subject?
Oh, I might. We should go ask Marwise.
Yes, let's go see this Marwise person.
Hopefully she's not mad anymore. Although she's not mad at me. But,
Okay,
yeah.
smash cut to Marwise's library on the moon. I leave it to Marwise's player to decide if Marwise is still somewhat upset about a collection of books being made into a working miniature castle, complete with crenellations, internal staircases, and a working drawbridge.
Marwise was mostly just angry at the gnome who did that. So,
The portcullis was going to be installed in the next hour.
Looks like multiple people have to step away. Can we
Right.
take 5 before we transition to the library?
That makes sense. We will do
Okay.
that. I'm going to press some buttons. Good, because I pressed the button 5 minutes ago. That's not true. I pressed the button right before I said I pressed it 5 minutes ago. Okay, so you have, through the magic of audio editing, appeared at the front door of Marwise's library.
Okay.
Yay!
greetings, youngling. Who's your new friend?
Hello, I am Ingen Svarte, leader of the Underfoot Clan.
Oh, well, hello, Ingen, and welcome to one of my libraries.
One of them. Impressive.
Yes, I have a much bigger one back on Circulus.
Ingen looks at your library, at the rows of books that just go off in the distance like a 6th grade student's practice at 3-point perspective drawing. It's like the Matrix scene where we need guns, lots of guns, but instead of guns on shelves, it's books on shelves. A larger library, you say?
Yes, well, this one's kind of new.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marwise, from one cleric to another, I am actually there. By the way, I'm assuming that Svart knows that Marwise is a cleric because this may have been mentioned 4 or 5 or more times on the way here.
Did you know she's a cleric?
Oh, she is. With repeated storytelling about various things and how they blend. Blended a house, you say? It was a mimic.
Well, I tried to eat my friends, so I blended it.
I will remember to only handle the books with clean hands. I am particularly interested in books about the history of kobolds. I was, shall we say, not raised around kobold culture at all.
Well, let me see what I have here for you. And I go off to try to pull up some books.
Okay. While Marwise is doing that, first of all, because you seem to be getting along pretty well, Mr. Svart has decided that you can call him Gen, Gen, short for Ingen, but that prevents the alternate pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he tells you about how he was raised among kobolds, but all the kobolds were slaves of cloud giants. And they've been slaves of cloud giants for so long, any remnant of their culture, even their religion, was kind of stripped away and replaced with cloud giant culture. And it wasn't until some new, and I'm using air quotes here, and so does Jen, recruits were brought in, that an effort was made to provide additional instruction to the kobolds that were there already. And Mr. Svart led perhaps a bit of a rebellion. Just a tiny little one by tiny little kobolds versus giants.
How'd you do that?
In a very messy manner, unfortunately.
Not
But-
sure what that means exactly, but you're here, so you survived.
Yes, I did, and several of us did as well. But when you're dealing with a being that's large enough to wield a tree should they wish it, there's only so much dodging and weaving that one can do.
Okay, so they're not by any chance looking for you, are they?
Oh, they very well might be. I did take one of their
And
clouds.
you came here. Yeah, okay. Big old target floating over. Okay, well.
Well, how much detail of the moon can you see from the planet?
And also, I'm pretty sure we can handle it.
It's, to be honest, one of the reasons why we were considering joining your Circle of Tales. Strength in numbers. We don't have the numbers.
With us, you can. We can protect each other. It's what we do.
So I've been told. Sniv did give me the recruitment speech.
Oh,
Twice.
That sounds like Sniff, yeah. Mm-hmm.
After one of his aides also gave me the recruitment speech.
Sniff can be very focused on things repeatedly.
I've noticed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Kind of annoying, honestly.
Annoying, you say?
Yeah.
Is it the voice?
I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something.
It might just be the stress of the job. I mean, he's in charge of this place, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but still.
I have never seen that much paperwork in my life.
kind of. I mean, he's not in charge. He's just one of the influential people on the Council of Tales. It's a thing. There's politics involved. Politics are complicated.
I can hear the capital letter when you say politics. I didn't know that could be possible, but apparently I have learned something new.
I'm good at pronouncing capital letters when I need to.
That's a useful skill.
It comes with the mad science.
So, Jen is wearing a mask, so you can't see his facial expression. But you're pretty sure his face went blank and he blinked at you when you said that. Because the mask is just facing you at this point. What kind of science?
Oh, I'm an artificer, so, getting accused of being a mad scientist happens.
Are you angry frequently?
No, that's me. Chroma's not.
So
Actually,
you're the mad
I take
scientist.
it back. No, not at all. I just beat things up when they need it. No science in that, really. Tactics, but no science. But yeah, actually, Chroma's been pretty mad lately, too.
Okay, maybe it's lost in translation a bit. My first language is, in fact, giant. So, what does an artificer do?
Oh, I walk the line between magic and technology. Specifically, I use advanced technology to access the, spell matrices of, well, I mean, it's sort of like how, a wizard will get the spell written down in their spell book, and then they can sort of put the spell matrix in their head. But with artificers, you sort of build it into the object. And I have a whole spiel about it in my notes somewhere, but I don't really have that right now.
This is all very interesting information. Forgive me if it's going to take a little while for me to process it.
No, don't worry, I get that a lot.
And you, Zox, was it?
No, Zax, you almost got it.
Oh, forgive me.
That's fine.
Zax, what do you do?
Break things and beat things up. I'm a barbarian.
Okay,
what
that
we
I
do.
know something about.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I mean, I have not known many kobolds who fit the bill for barbarian, but
I can introduce you to a few.
You do look
If
like
you
you
want.
lift.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I lifted you earlier. That wasn't too hard, to be honest.
Yes, more than once.
But, right. Well, I got to make sure you're a kobold. See, we were fighting a thing the other day that looked like a kobold and acted like a kobold, but I couldn't pick it up, so I knew it wasn't a kobold. And then it was a big battle, and we don't want to do that again. So I'm just checking everybody and making sure they're a kobold.
What was it?
What was it?
It was a slad.
That. Mm-hmm.
A slad.
Yep.
a fiend from the abyss that looks kind of like the worst frog ever.
Yep, 2 of them.
Are they really fiends? I mean,
Oh.
they're from the plane of chaos, not from...
Well, it's not my main focus of study. I could be a little bit off, but they're kind of a kill-on-sight thing, even when giants see them.
Yep. Yeah. We didn't end up killing them, though. We let them go away.
Sent them home.
Yeah. One of them was honestly pretty broken by the time they got to escape.
This conversation is actually giving me more questions than I had when I started it. Do you get that a lot?
I think so, yeah.
We tend to have pretty interesting adventures.
Apparently so. And Zenosha, was it?
Yes.
What do? You don't appear to be a barbarian or an artificer. Are you also a cleric?
A druid, actually.
Oh.
I did grow up with Marwise here, so... Well, I grew up with Marwise, not here. When I grew up with her, we were still on the planet.
And forgive me if this is a faux pas to point it out, but and Jen sort of pantomimes tapping the top of their nose. You've got a little,
He's not hurting anything.
Yeah, it's just a mushroom.
Oh, well, if it's not bothering you, then that's fine, I guess. And you, young lady, what do you do? Oh, wait, I see the bow. You're a fighter, right?
More or less.
Ah. And who is this? And Jen leans forward, and your parasite does not have a chin. But imagine it does. And imagine it's getting chin scritches right now.
Oh.
And it's making happy little carbonation noises, maybe like last time.
Mhm.
Apparently so.
I mean, maybe.
I may have pre-rolled an animal handling check to see if it was possible. Okay, so that is everyone except this very tall friend of yours. I am JR. I am a paladin. A paladin? Of what deity? Do you have time to talk about my personal savior, the god of sufficiently advanced technology? I was not familiar there was one. I am not sure there is one either. It could be made up. And you're a paladin of that god, you say? This is true. Forgive me. How? I do not know. So, I've spent the majority of my life among flying clouds, raised to serve giants. I led a revolution and brought my followers to a moon. And I think that you all have had much more exciting adventures than me. I don't know how to feel about this at all.
Well, you can come along with us on some adventures, maybe, and see what that's like.
I am half terrified to agree, to be honest.
I figured.
We could liquefy another mind flare. That was fun.
You did what now?
Well, I think
I'm
Kermit
not
did.
sure fun is really the way I describe that part. Also, it was not me that liquefied the mind flare. It was,
What was it?
Also,
Felix.
I rolled a 10 on my history check. I don't know what a mind flayer
Oh,
is.
right. It was that other wine player, right?
It looks kind of like a person put a squid on their head.
Right. Kind of like, but a tall person. Like a human put a squid on their head. I mean, I guess you've been around giants, so humans wouldn't really be tall person. Like a medium-sized person put a squid on their head.
I can't imagine anything like that isn't incredibly disturbing.
Yeah, then you got it right. Mm-hmm.
Most of them aren't very nice.
So, when you invite others to go with you on your adventures, do many of them agree?
Not very often.
I agreed.
He's the exception. They're the exception, sorry.
It has been very fun so far. I made friends. I got to pet a Triceratops.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to think that joining the Circle of Tales will give us more enemies than we had before.
Well, what'd you have before? Just how many giants?
I don't know if the Circle of Tales has that many enemies so much as,
We personally
Those who's-
probably do.
well, we don't have that many living ones.
No, many of them are undead.
No, that's true.
Are
They're
they?
not that hard to deal with. Well, I mean, they're zombies,
Oh,
Went through a
I
lot
mean, I
of
guess
those.
there were zombies. I don't think there are a lot of those anymore.
There are considerably fewer.
Also, most members of the Circle of Tales don't get into nearly as much fights as we do. We seem to have somehow positioned ourselves as the muscle.
This is true.
A
Zach's
significant number of
flexes.
them ended up getting killed anyway.
Zax flexes again.
And now we cannot bring them back? Well, yes. Usually when something dies, they pretty much have to stay dead.
We have clerics that can cast Resurrect. Marwise is one of them.
And Mom was doing resurrecting sometimes, but she's off on vacation, I guess.
I heard talk that many mountains would be laid to waste.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of vacation my mom would take.
It was your grandfather's suggestion. So, forgive me if I'm mishearing, but did you say you were able to bring back the dead?
Not us
It's an
personally.
expensive process, but
I mean-
yes.
Theoretically, I could help, but only with people who had just died. I can only do revivify, but so not really useful outside of adventuring hazards. But Marwise can do the big kind.
Jen turns and looks over where Marwise probably has a significant number of books. You can bring people back.
Yes, it requires some expensive diamonds, but yeah, I've done it before.
We liberated a flying cloud, a smaller one, mind you, just a single tower, not an entire city. But we liberated a giant cloud, a giant's giant cloud. Actually, smaller. You get the idea. We have some treasure. Do you need the body to bring them back?
I can use smaller diamonds if I do, but no, they don't have to.
Not even true I need to look that up.
It's been a while since I've read it, but I remember True Resurrection saying something about materializing a body if there isn't one.
Oh, yep, it does.
We have some. We're missing more.
Well, let me take a look. I'll do what I can.
May I, this is a library. Do I need a card to check out the books, or?
Normally, yes, but in this case, I think I'll just remember you.
Thank you. Forgive me. This is very important information. Would you be willing to come with me right now?
Sure.
Okay. Smash cut 2. You
Do I
are...
need a card to check out the librarian?
Look, he's not looking for someone right now. Okay? He just got over a traumatic experience. He's actually not quite over it yet, and he feels very closed down right now. But
He
give
has
him
to
some
work
time.
on himself.
Yes.
There you go.
It's not you, it's him. Okay, so Smash Cut 2, you are on a flying cloud, which is better than a crashed cloud for many reasons. That would be fog. The cloud does, in fact, have a rather large tower sitting in the center of it. There is some somewhat leveled ground around it, but for the most part, the cloud seems to have been solidified for the sole purpose of keeping this tower upright and up, as well as upright. And there are several kobolds who see you coming, and they bow hastily when they see Jen approaching and open the doors for you. They're all different colors, by the way. It is a smattering. Most clans, the kobolds tend to be a single color unless they are like the Chipped Claw, made from a wide variety of clans that have joined together. So there's a genetic mixing. Jen, as a kobold, is their scales are mostly purple. There's some blue scales in there as well as a speckle. But the other kobolds don't have that coloration, and there doesn't seem to be a particular coloration type that is the main prevalent thing.
I wave.
Some of them timidly wave back.
Aw.
We can't dig down very far, but the morgue is down here. And you descend down a flight of stairs. The stairs appear to be made out of cloud stuff. It is significantly colder underneath the tower.
This thing is very impressive, and I thought the red star was cool.
How do they do this? How does it be?
Well, do you want the long answer or the short answer?
Yes,
A wizard did it.
I'm one and I can't do this.
Well, a cloud giant wizard did it, and then we stole it.
Oh, where is the cloud giant?
The one we stole it from?
Yes. Isn't he going to want it back? Or they? She? It? I don't know.
Well, I'm not quite sure how long they can tread water, or if they survive the fall into the
Oh.
ocean.
Okay.
Well, if they breathe air, then I can imagine breathing water would be a bit problematic.
However, their family is still, shall we say, at large. So
That's going to be a lot.
that might be an issue.
Well, it depends. Do they know he had a trip into the water, or do they think he's still alive?
Do you know of any wizards who are able to scry such things?
Yes, I do.
So do I.
That doesn't answer the question.
It does, if you think about it.
I think he's saying yes, the Cloud Giants have their own wizards, and they're probably going to show up eventually, and we're going to need to help defend this place.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant.
Never fought a cloud giant before.
Neither have
It's not recommended to do so with melee attacks.
Okay.
However, I have
So-
found Tasha's hideous laughter to be of remarkable effectiveness.
I brought fireball grenades.
Please don't pull him out here.
Of course I won't pull them out here. Fire safety.
Once we're done down here, I would love to see the helm.
Yes, I would be very interested to see how this thing navigates.
The what now?
The pilot's controls.
How do you make it move, go up and down, side to side?
That is a difficult question to answer, but it's not done from a particular location.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I
Very.
thought so too.
Well, let's see this morgue thing, and then we'll make our way to however you make this thing move.
Okay. So it was referred to as the morgue, but it has been pretty much set up to be more of a crypt. There is a significant number of kobolds. Some of them are very well intact. Some of them are not. Most of them are not. There's actually one of them that is a labeled bucket.
Oh, man. That's
Oh.
going to be difficult. I guess. I mean, I don't know how to bring him back.
All right, well,
They were
Like I
hit
said,
with
I
a morning
needed-
star.
a giant-sized morning star.
Yes.
Well, like I said, I need diamonds to cast the spells, but I'm ready to get to work.
Jen pulls out a pouch and places it on a nearby table. It does not jingle.
I pull a diamond out of the pouch and I start casting Resurrection. And
Okay.
if they're not
It
giving
is-
me any specific instructions on who first, I'm going to leave the bucket for last, but otherwise just kind of go random.
I thought you were going to res Bucket Boy first. That's fine. By the way, most of the gems inside the bag are not diamonds, but there are a significant number of diamonds. Not all the diamonds in the bag look to be of good enough quality for casting Resurrection. This is not a situation where Jem was like, I'm going to go meet a kobold cleric that can cast Resurrection today. I'm going to be prepared for that.
Well, then I'll take out the diamonds that do
Oh, yeah.
work,
You-
and I'll just mention
you
to
grabbed-
Imogen that I need diamonds specifically.
I'm specifically saying that yes, you have done the thing you said you were going to do, but not everything in the bag was something that was useful. You find one that is. There's a bunch of them there that you see. Oh, well, this was, I guess, a grab bag. Pun intended, because pun is always intended. That should be on the bingo card. Okay, so you cast Resurrection, and in front of you is a now whole, unsmashed kobold. Look out! Look out! Oh.
Hi, how are you feeling?
Like-
You're probably going to feel bad. I hear being resurrected always makes you feel bad.
Well, I have a slight headache, and my left pinky toe is a tad bit itchy,
That doesn't
And-
sound too bad.
and I think there's a booger in my left nostril.
Okay, I didn't need that info, even as a barbarian, but that's all right.
Oh, never mind. All good.
Well, you solved it. Okay.
But
Probably what
appear-
barbarians would do. Are you a barbarian?
I am not.
Okay.
I've seen lots of people get resurrected. Some of them have much worse resurrection sickness. Some of them almost threw up on me when I was littler and didn't know not to get underfoot. I mean, not the kind of underfoot that's your clan name, but the kind that's 2 words and involves me inconveniently placing myself way too near the about to be resurrected person.
So, the last thing I remember was I was running towards a cloud that had a tower on it, and we were going to try to hold it against the giants, and then I was flying. Yes, you were kicked. Oh, I didn't make it, did I? You did make it to the tower, if I can give you a silver lining, but no. Oh dear. Marwise here brought you back. And look over at Marwise.
I wave and smile.
Give me a constitution save.
For Marwise?
For Marwise.
I got a 10.
You are tackled with a hug.
Oh,
You
you're
keep
very
your
welcome.
feet, but just barely.
I'll hug him back and otherwise just wait for them to calm down.
Are you bringing them all back?
You need more diamonds, and it might take a couple days, but that was my plan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have the words to thank you enough. If you can bring them all back, you'll have another clan in your circle.
All right, well, like I said, might take a few days, but I'm willing.
I'll see if someone can get a sending to my mom. She'd probably help. I hope she'd help.
Do you
I'm
cast
not
the
sure
sending
exactly what happened, except that there was a lot of yelling before she left.
What was
I'm
she
told
angry
there was
about?
yelling. Politics.
She was told to not resurrect any more kobolds.
But she'd probably do it anyway. Possibly because.
Is this something that I should stay quiet about?
Oh, probably, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why does Mr. Stonetail, or the rest of the leadership, whoever they are, not want kobolds to be brought back if you can bring them back?
Well, I'm not too involved, but I think it was a resource management thing. They decided they wanted to put more effort into trying to fix the moon and make it defendable.
And also because too many were getting killed. And they were sending them back out, and they weren't prepared. And then they'd be dead again. So I think it's some of those factors that made that decision. But still, I mean, wouldn't it be better to have a bigger force, Like both with like the, ships and things, and also people. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like if you've got the resources, but I don't know how many resources we had for resurrection. I don't do that. But when we get your kobolds all ready and they're, alive and like healthier, we can train them. There's a barbarian dojo up here, and they can learn to fight better.
It wasn't like a permanent moratorium on more resurrections. I got the impression it was like, there's a list usually, and we were supposed to be waiting.
And we just jumped ahead of the list.
Sometimes diplomacy requires measures.
And if Chroma's mom arrives, nobody's going to stop her from doing what she wants.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm sure if you contacted Daldane, she'd be willing to help.
You know Daldane?
Yes, she helped me with some of my training.
Fascinating. I've not met Daldane myself, mind you, but there was talk among the cloud giants about acquiring her. For the most part, it was assumed it would be too risky.
I think I would have to agree with that assessment.
Yeah, Daldane and the rest of us can pack quite the punch if you try to threaten one of us.
I imagine. You've barely told me about your adventures, and already I'm thinking that what we went through, though very, very costly, wasn't nearly as tough as what you've done. Chroma, do you use sending to contact your mom?
I, technically don't have sending. That's why I'd need to get it someone who can cast it. It's not an artificer spell.
Okay. Well, then here's what we're going to do. Because
I should really get some sending stones.
We are getting to the point where it is just about time to end it, so I'm going to have us leap forward just a little bit to the point where Chroma has found someone to cast sending to Zeely and say, "Hey, you want to make Sniv angry?" Or something similar.
Yeah, that's about it. Chroma knows her mother.
And the person who cast the spell, they get a very confused expression on their face. It didn't go through.
What?
I didn't even get a, "Hello, you've reached Zeely. Your call is very important to us. Please leave a message after the beep" message. It was just, couldn't go through.
I'm going to make an Arcana check. That's a 19. Oh, the sphere thingy, the lock.
The what now?
Never mind. I have to go do something.
Okay. It's been fun. Thanks for not showing me any of your inventions.
I'll show you the other ones later. Also, I didn't invent this one. I just need to go fix it.
Chroma is totally oblivious to them flinching when they're told that they'll be shown other inventions.
Oh, yeah, Chroma, did not take that as sincerity. Chroma took that as passive-aggressive disappointment at not having them seen.
Chroma has acquired a reputation, and it may or may not be from the reverence that one hears in her voice when she says the word grenade.
Fair cop.
Because that is a mood, let me tell you.
I cannot hear the word grenade without thinking of Jane Cobb.
All right. So that is where we are going to end it for this evening because we've been playing for almost 2 hours. This is not 100% where I thought we'd go. We covered some ground that I knew we'd cover. We covered some ground that I didn't expect to happen this soon. And there are so many wondrous things for you to encounter soon-ish. Maybe next week. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for listening. I've been Crash, and I've been joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Archbeth and LFA hanging out in chat. Craig, always listening, because that's what Craig does. Ellie, Eo, Jen, Matt, and Cindy are here. And let's do a few quick plugs. Ellie runs a social network, elek.xyz, elekk.xyz. Many of us have social media accounts. Those of us who care to share them, you can find those on the cast page. It's linked in the show notes. Eo's
And
mom
on
writes
Soviet
books.
Soviet Elek, Nazis block you.
I know, right?
Saves time.
Yeah, today Elek got blocked by a bunch of Nazis, and we're okay with this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Thank
good.
you for doing the work so we don't have to. Eo's mom writes books. You can get those at elizabeth-mccoy.com. I stopped myself before I said bookofjen.net, which is where you can find Jen's blog and podcast. I'm glad I figured it out. It's because the word book is at the beginning of the URL.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about where you can get books from. And it didn't screw me up before. It didn't screw me up for years. I don't know why it's bothering me now.
I don't know.
Matt's brother-in-law also writes books. You can get those at nogodsbeforeus.com. And Cindy remains awesome. We also have a... Sorry?
I was just saying thank you.
Well, it's true. So, there's that. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. You can help us keep the virtual lights on and join other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Janatalok, I might be pronouncing that wrong, Mickey, and Walter. And until next time, this is Crash saying, I'm not sure what to do with the bucket afterwards. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night, Moon.